Okay, guys. So today, this is the second time I've done this. So let's try it again. We are going to be talking about les objets directs. Okay, so this is a continuation from lesson 14. Okay, now last time we talked about our objet direct, which is me, te, nous, and vous. We also talked that the same ones can be also used as the objet indirect, me, te, nous, and vous. Remember, when they are direct, it is going to be me, you, us, you, if we're using the vous form. If it is indirect, it is going to be to me, to you, to us, to you, again, if we're using the vous form. Obviously, the tus are going to be if we are using the tu form, okay? Now, once again, I just talked about those definitions. Now, the rule of placement that we learned last time. The rule of placement is going to be, it goes before the conjugated verb unless there's an infinitive, then it goes before the infinitive. Okay. Now, what happens in negative sentences? So, in negative sentences, as I told you last time, these rules have not changed. So, that means that they are going to go, if it is in a present sentence, it is going to go inside the ne pas sandwich along with the verb. But if there's an infinitive, then we do something a little different, that the ne pas goes around the conjugated verb, but our pronoun, our me, te, nous, or vous, goes before the infinitive. Okay, so let's get started on the new stuff. Okay, so les autres objets directs, okay? So we are putting the objet indirect on hold just for a second. But like I said, we are going to learn the rest of the direct object pronouns. Okay, so the very first one, we are talking about le. So le can be translated as it if we are talking about a thing, or could be him if we are referring to a person. Okay. Now, same thing. It could be la. Once again, if we are talking about an it, if the it that we're referring to is feminine, or it could be her as well, if again we're talking about a person. Now, les, that is going to be either people or things. Obviously, that's going to be the plural. So now we have a complete list of those direct object pronouns. So any of our direct object pronouns are me, te, nous, and vous, and now le, la, and les. Okay. Now, as I just said, the same rule of placement applies to these as the ones we've already learned. So it goes before the conjugated verb unless there's an infinitive, then it goes before the infinitive. All right. So let's take a look at some of these examples so you can see what we're doing, see what is going on. Okay, les exemples. Je mange le steak frit. Once again, I'm being very, very simple on these. These are going to be in present tense, okay? So, je mange le steak frit. Now, as you can see, I have already underlined our direct object. It is what is being eaten, so that is le steak frit. Now, as I said on my previous slide, the only three options on this are going to be le, la, or les, okay? So le, la, or les, you can see hopefully that le steak frit, that is going to be masculine. So then when we go to replace this, we're going to replace it with le. Then we're only left with these two words. So the le is going to go in between here because it's got to go before that verb. So then we have je le mange. So when I see this, je le mange, I'm going to translate that as I eat it. Okay, je le mange. So the next one, let's try another one. So, est-ce que tu regardes la télé? Est-ce que tu regardes la télé? Are you watching TV or do you watch TV? So as you can see, I already have la télé clarified that that is our direct object. You can see the fact that yes, it is feminine. Once again, our only three choices are le, la, or les. So we are going to replace it with la. It is going to go before the verb here. So then when we go to rewrite it, it's going to be est-ce que tu la regardes? All right. Now let's do one more before we go on to making these negative. Okay. So, nous achetons les haricots verts. Nous achetons les haricots verts. We buy green beans. We are buying green beans, however you want to translate that. Now, once again, as I've said about 10 times already, their only choices for this are le, la, or les. So when we go to replace les haricots verts, we are going to replace it with les. So then again, we really only have two words left in our sentence. It is going to go right here. And so when we want to say we buy them, it is going to be nous les achetons. Okay? Nous les achetons, we buy them. Now, how to make these negative? As I told you a second ago, these don't change. The rule does not change. So it's just as the same thing we did before with a me, te, nous, and vous. We are going to put the ne, pas around it, and our le, la, les direct object is going to go inside our sandwich. So if I want to say, I don't eat steak frites, okay, if I say I don't eat steak frites or I'm not eating it, it is going to be je ne le mange pas. Je ne le mange pas. No, I don't eat it. Je ne le mange pas. Okay. The next one, est-ce que tu regardes la télé? Do you watch TV? We want to say, what? You don't watch it? So once again, it is going to go around our verb. Our la is going to go inside our sandwich. So, est-ce que tu ne la regardes pas? All right, one more. If we want to say, nope, we're not buying green beans, we're not buying them, then it is going to be nous ne les achetons pas. Okay, so once again, this le, la, les go inside the sandwich. Okay, now let's jump ahead and just go ahead because let's talk now about passé composé. Now, passé composé we did not talk about before. Okay, so this is sort of new, but the rule doesn't change. It goes before the verb. It goes before the whole verb. Okay, so let me refresh your memory. This is what a sentence in passé composé looks like. J'ai mangé les cerises. So as you can see, we've got the helping verb there. We've got the manger, which is our past participle. So this whole entire thing, both parts, that is our verb. So when we go to replace les cerises, that is going to be replaced with les, because once again, I ate more than one cherry. And so then we are going to put the les in between here. So that means we are going to break apart this j'ai, which is we are not used to seeing that, but that's how it works. That's what we do, okay? So when we want to say I ate them, it's going to be je les ai mangés. Je les ai mangés. I ate them. Now, as you can see, I did have to do something different on this one. Now, this again only happens in passé composé. Do not start doing this in present tense sentences. Okay, so I went ahead because cherries are feminine and I'm eating more than one of them. When I go to replace it and that les goes before our verb, I am going to have to add an E and an S to talk about the cherries. Okay, so je les ai mangés. So you don't pronounce it, it's just a spelling thing. So then let's say maybe I was eating green beans. Okay, green beans are masculine. So therefore, if this les was referring to green beans, I'd only put the S. Okay, if maybe I changed my sentence and I say I ate the apple or the orange or the banana and all of those things are feminine, but I'm only eating one of them, then it would be je l'ai mangé, l'apostrophe, and then on manger I would only add an E because of what I'm eating is feminine singular, okay? But anyway, like I said, je les ai mangés, we are adding that extra ENS because cherries are feminine, and in this case, they are plural. Okay, let's look at another one. Now, tu as vu le film? Tu as vu le film? Did you see the film? We want to put, did you see it? So again, as you can see, we are going to be replacing le film with le, and it's going to go before the whole verb. It's going to go before our helping verb. And so now it is going to go l'apostrophe just because this starts with a vowel. So then you're going to say tu l'as vu. Tu l'as vu is did you see it? And so then because le film is masculine, I do not need to add anything to vu because we don't need it. Okay, we're only talking about one movie. Now, once again, if this would be the comedy, then I'd add an E, tu l'as vu, but it's not. It's le film, so we are just leaving it like that. Okay, one more like this, and then we will move on to negative, okay? So, vous avez fini vos devoirs. You finished your homework, or you finished your homework assignments. So, vous avez fini vos devoirs. Now, watch out for this one, okay? Because it has a vo. A lot of the times, students try, when they're first starting out on this, they try to replace it with vo simply because that's just the article that we see there. But no, what did I say earlier? Our choices on this section are only le, la, and le. So you do kind of have to read into it because you can see, oh, that's right, we're doing more than one assignment. So it needs to be replaced with le. And again, it's going to go before our whole verb. It's going to go before that helping verb. So then we want to say, yep, you finished them. It's going to be vous les avez finis. And as you can see, we have to add that S there because we are talking about finishing more than one assignment. And yeah, if assignments were feminine, we'd add the E and the S, but they're not. They're masculine, so that's why we only add the S. Okay? Now, let's talk one more thing, talking about making these negative. Now, remember, in passé composé, the ne pas goes only around the helping verb. So if I want to say I didn't eat the cherries, it's going to be je n'ai pas mangé les cerises, okay? So just remember that the pas is going to go here. It's not going to go all the way down here after the manger. So if I want to say I didn't eat them, it is going to be je ne les ai pas mangés. And again, I know it looks really weird to see that A by itself, but because we're so used to seeing it like that, but this is correct. It's totally fine. Je ne les ai pas mangés. And again, we're going to continue to add that ENS. Like I said, that ENS is not pronounced. It's just a spelling thing that you'll see it when you're reading it or when you're writing it. Okay, the second one. So if I want to say, what, you didn't see the movie? Then it is going to be tu ne l'as pas vu. Tu ne l'as pas vu? You didn't see it? Okay. And then the last one, if we want to say you didn't finish them, then it is going to be vous ne les avez pas finis. Vous ne les avez pas finis is you didn't finish them. Okay. And again, we still need to add that S because it's multiple masculine assignments. Okay. You got it? All right, let's go on. Now, one more thing that we have to talk about is when we are talking about with an infinitive, avec un infinitif. As I told you at the beginning of this, there is no change in that rule. So when we want to say it goes before the conjugated verb, unless there's an infinitive, then it goes before the infinitive. So this is exactly what still happens here. Okay, so first example, je vais acheter ces sandales. I'm going to buy these sandals. Je vais acheter ces sandales. Now remember, our only choices on these are le, la, and les. So that means that the sandals, multiple sandals, I'm buying more than one sandal because I have 2 feet. It is going to be replaced with les. Now, as you can see here, we do have that infinitive. So it is going to go right here. So I say, je vais les acheter is I am going to buy them. Oui, je vais les acheter. Okay, next example. Est-ce que tu vas apporter la limonade? Are you going to bring the limonade or the Sprite? So again, as you can see, la limonade is our direct object. So that is going to be replaced with la. Okay. But the thing is when we go to put it here, this already starts with a vowel. So that means we are going to make it an L apostrophe. So, est-ce que tu vas l'apporter? Are you going to bring it? Okay. Last example. Ils vont voir la Tour Eiffel. They're going to see the Eiffel Tower. So as you can see, la Tour Eiffel is our direct object. It is going to be replaced with la. Okay, and it is going to go in front of this infinitive. So, ils vont la voir, ils vont la voir, they are going to see it. Now, one thing that I have not necessarily mentioned is that you need to understand that when we are using these direct or indirect pronouns, that you need to understand that it already needed to be clarified. It already needed to be established in the context of the situation or the conversation of what in the world we are talking about. Because I just can't come up to you and say, ah oui, je vais les acheter. If I just come up to you with no outside context and say, je vais les acheter, hey, I'm going to buy them, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about. So once again, if you want to say, hey, do you really like those sandals? Are you going to buy them? Yeah, I think I'm going to buy them. So once again, it is already established in the context that we are talking about sandals. The same thing, if I just come up to you and randomly say, ils vont la voir, they're going to see it. You have no idea if I'm talking about the latest comedy or if I'm talking about the Eiffel Tower or whatever. So maybe the context would be, hey, are they going to see the Eiffel Tower where they're in Paris? Ah, oui, oui, ils vont la voir. Yeah, they're going to see it. Okay. Now, one last thing before we finish is, once again, what do we do when we're going to go negative with an infinitive? As I told you before, this rule has not changed. So that means if I say, I am not going to buy them, that ne pas is going to go around that first verb, around the conjugated verb, and then we're not going to have to worry about that rest of this stuff. So then when we say, oh non, je ne vais pas les acheter, no, I am not going to buy them. Okay, the same thing. What? You're not going to bring the limonade? So it is going to be, est-ce que tu ne vas pas l'apporter? Or maybe we're going to say, no, they're not going to see it. They're not going to see the Eiffel Tower while they're in Paris. Then it is going to be, ils ne vont pas la voir. Okay, so just to recap, once again, these are the rest of the direct object. So again, the only choices on these three are going to be le, la, or les. These direct objects can be people or things. Okay, so once again, if it is le, it can be it or him. If it is la, it can be it or her. Or if it is les, then it is going to be them. And again, the them can be either the objects or people. Okay, I hope this helps. I hope this video has been useful to you. Once again, if you're still not sure about stuff, you can watch it as many times as you need to. If you're still confused, go ahead and reach out to me, and I will be happy to help you. Okay, thanks. I'll see you in the next video.